Hey, it's time for episode 1 of Quarantine with Pep and Caz.
This week we discussed the Drag Race Cookout,
The latest on Cherry Pie,
why white people shouldn't have guns,
and quarantine breakups. So sit back, relax, get yourself some herbal tea and a crack pipe.
and let's go. Hi, Peppermint.
Hey, Caswell.
What are you doing?
You know, just sitting here. I'm having a great day.
You are not convincing me because I heard you fighting with your neighbors upstairs.
Yeah. No. That was. Well, no. I don't want them to ruin a great day. But I started off having a great day, and now I'm having a great day because I'm with you. But my neighbors, we about to fight.
Yeah. They sounded like they played
we about to fight.
They sound like they play a dodgeball with bowling balls up there.
I don't get it.
My neighbor upstairs, she just can't stop fucking. Did I tell you that?
You told me.
Oh my god! So I don't even know what she looks like, but I know her boyfriend's name, or the guy that's typically slamming her.
You told me.
His name's Whitney.
With the truck.
No, yeah, he has a truck and it says Viking on it. Okay, and I heard that he's hot because my roommate has waited on him at a cafe. I don't know. I assume he's got a big dick because she's always screaming. She's always like, "Oh, Whitney." His name's
First
Whitney.
we thought they were lesbians.
It's like, "Oh, Whitney," and then the other day, I don't remember when, but she came out. Listen, I hear people fucking all the time. Like I'm in between two heavily populated buildings, and so I hear people fucking. I don't care if you want to fucking. I'm awake and doing my thing. I don't care. But what you're not gonna do is wake me the fuck up. And they come home. You know how you can tell if people above you stumble in drunk from the way they're stumbling. Right. Like you know. And so he started pounding her pussy right above my head, or their bedroom's right above mine. I'm like, oh no, this bitch didn't. I tell you about the time I yelled out the window. I tell you about the time I yelled out the window. I said, "Hey, Mona Lisa, next time you open your legs, close your window." Which I can't take credit for because some guy yelled that to my neighbor the first night I moved to New York City. But it's a line I love. So anyway, I was like, I didn't have a broom. Okay, so I didn't have a broom, so I just took my tripod and started slamming it on the ceiling. And then he brought her over to the couch and started fucking her. I could tell the difference between a bed creaking and a couch creaking.
Was that late at night or during the afternoon? You said you were
like an hour before the sun is going to come up.
So it's early in the morning.
Yeah, like 4 or 5. But whatever. I mean,
crazy.
It's fine. This problem's wherever you live. It's the least of my worries.
Yeah, I mean, if you live in a city, it's going to be noisy.
But it's fucking rude. If you're going to have sex, close your window. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like literally 2 minutes.
If you're going to scream when you're having sex, close your window. You know what I mean? I don't know.
If it's especially if it's late at night. If you're going to scream and it's late at night, close your window.
But sound fucking travels because if I spank somebody, my roommate could hear it in my last room. You
know
place.
what?
Like if he was in the living room,
does when you're especially when you're sleeping. Travel. And I feel like I have super hearing and I can't, but I feel like I do. My roommate once had a girl over and it was late at night, probably 1 or 2 in the morning. And they were having sex. I mean, I guess obviously they were in there to have sex. They were in there. And then I started hearing smacking. And that woke me up. And I was like, this is really loud. And I tried. And I was like, I don't even know if I said anything that day. But I was like, can you please, if you're going to smack, please smack her a little softer. Did you hear that?
Smack her a little softer. He's going to feel like a pussy. He's like, take that. He's not gonna want to fucking do that anyway. So today's been a trying day.
But I actually had a good day. I got a lot done. I organized me and the folks from Head Over Heels, the Broadway show, are having a reunion where we're gonna get together and sing a song to give attention to charity. And so I'm the musical director.
So were y'all doing it from home?
Yeah, everybody's doing it from the home into the computers.
Oh, that's cool.
Like a Zoom kind of thing.
Oh, nice. Send me the link. I will
when it's ready.
I've been really, really busy lately. Do you notice that, like, I mean, I'm sure you do, that everyone is getting involved in a musical project right now. Like, I've been on meetings nonstop. Like, yesterday was all day meetings with like other producer and just another artist. And I don't know, I feel like maybe I didn't even break this down to me and Adrian Barbeau, who I live with. I know you know this, but we started a production company called Madeline Ashton Productions. And if you know Madeline Ashton, then you know. And if you don't, you can Google that shit and then get caught. But so it's Madeline Ashton Productions, and we started doing work with a bunch of artists and just producing tracks and writing tracks for them. So it's been going. We've been pretty busy, and we've been dealing with a couple of new queens and
Nice.
some drag queens, some normal artists, normal whatever. You know what I mean?
How dare you?
Dare you?
Normal.
You seem kind of sleepy. You need a
I seem
shot.
sleepy?
You seem a little tired. You need a shot of espresso or something.
No way. I'm
You need to do
energized.
some jumping jacks. Okay.
Don't tell me what I need to
Okay,
do.
go. 3, 2, 1,
What
just
you need
scream
to
it.
do? You want to see me? You want to see
Okay.
me?
Yes, I do. I do actually.
No, I don't want to do that.
So,
I'm energized because I just watched Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. They have that series called Versus on Instagram Live, where they take two artists, and it was Babyface and Teddy Riley had one that made the news. I don't know if you heard about that. And
explain to me how that happens, because I haven't watched any of those or those TikTok competitions or anything.
Well, it's not really a TikTok competition, but it's basically they call it a competition, but it's really just like a jam session, and so it's them DJing. So they just DJing at their house in front of their laptop or their phone or whatever, and so they just play the music, and you just hear it. I think the speakers are near it, so you can hear it kind of good, but it's not like some professional. It's not like produced. It's just like playing music. They're just sharing their playlists, and they go back and forth sharing their playlists. I haven't watched any other ones. The first one I watched was Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, and they were playing their own songs. Like, they were just kind of going through their own catalog and playing their own songs back and forth. Like, oh, I got one for you, and it was beautiful. It was like it was like a blast from the past. And then we got to hear, there's something so cool. The connection between Erykah Badu and Jill Scott is the Roots, and they both used to work with them. And Jill Scott has, in her first album, has these interludes. Some of them are outtakes from live shows where she used to play with. She used to be like their singer and writer.
I saw her live with the Roots.
And so there's a little interlude that's like it's an interlude on an album where it's just her spelling her name. Like, their Roots is like, let me introduce you to this girl, Jill Scott. And so she sings her name and she spells it, and that's on the album.
Oh, I love that.
One of Jill Scott's things that she played in the Instagram Live was this beat that came on. I'm like, I know that beat. And it's actually that interlude, that song, but it's the whole 5-minute version.
Oh, shit.
And it's that whole, like, so we could hear the crowd and we could hear the conversation, and it felt like I was in the club.
You know what?
It was just so awesome.
I have this memory of Jill Scott. I saw the Roots at Hammerstein Ballroom when I first moved to New York, and she was doing this song, and she said that she kept saying the word okay, and she had the audience say okay, and it was about a fight with a girl she had, and she says, if you want to wake up in the emergency room at 3:00 in the morning, then it's okay. I'll never forget that line.
Jill seems so peaceful and so like zen, but she's quick to talk about laying hands on somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are back. Already 10 minutes in to our
just talking
podcast.
Shit. Did you see Drag Race last night?
I watched Drag Race. You want to talk about it?
Do you know what talking about Drag Race last night?
No. Okay. So first of all, there's Drag Race was very.
We need to give a warning. We need to give a warning because we can talk shit.
Okay.
So spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck did they do last night again?
Episode 11, which was the one-woman show with Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes. Okay. Whoopi was good. I liked her on that show. I liked her on that episode. That was good. And so what they had to do was they had to do a one-woman show, which made sense to have Whoopi there because she's famous for her one-woman show. And Gigi did the Airline from Hell. Heidi did the Family Cookout. So I was confused by Jada's. Jada's was about a monologue.
It was an experience that she had at a pageant.
And she had to take a piss.
She had to go to the bathroom. She couldn't get her zipper down together.
Okay. And then, oh my God. Who's the first girl that went?
Let's see. It was Jackie, Crystal.
Jackie. Mm-hmm. So Jackie went.
Crystal. Jackie went and did her family, like her, basically talking about her family growing up and how her mother was disapproving of her being gay. Crystal was the very gay, sexy workout trainer to the stars. Heidi was a family cookout. Jada was the pageant moment. Sherry Pie was the psychic goldfish.
That's right.
And that's it.
Okay, I just want to say right now, I'm just going to get right into it. I think the bottom two should have been. I'm going to say Heidi is right to be in the bottom, and between her and Jada, I don't think Jada should have been the bottom two. I think that Jada was thrown off because Sherry Pie took like fucking 3.5 hours to finish her segment and do her show. And also, like, what I liked about Jada was, even though she wasn't a natural at it, and even though her jokes weren't getting a lot of laughs, every time she like broke through the wall, was like, oh, you guys don't like this, I was relating to her. So I felt like she knew how to handle a crowd, and she knew how to handle the situation like a professional. I think that Sherry Pie should have been in the bottom, because there is nothing worse than having somebody go on before you and they're on over 3 times longer. And I know that's happened to you, and I hate it when it happens to me.
I think it's not fair, for sure. I do think it shows a selfishness. But I have a theory here.
Okay.
They basically removed everything from Sherry Pie's thing.
Right.
So that all we know is that she took longer.
Right.
But what little bits of her they did have on stage were actually quite good.
I'm sure she was good.
I think she was in the moment that day. She might have been one of the best ones.
I'm sure she was. I mean?
But since we don't get to see it, then they played up the fact that she went over 5 minutes. They psychologically got us into thinking all the girls were less than 5 minutes and Sherry was 15. We don't know what the other girls were. Do you know what I mean? We really don't know if any of the other girls took long as well.
Didn't they have a time spot? Didn't they have a timer next to the other girls too? At least for some.
It was supposed they were supposed to do a 5-minute routine.
3 to 5 minutes. That's what
they were asked to do. Mm-hmm. But we don't know that they all. What I'm saying is, how do you know that Heidi's wasn't longer? We don't know that. No, I'm just saying. Okay. I'm being the devil's advocate here, because I know we like looking for a reason to, but it's the editing is a little tricky. And I know that they're doing some double editing because of the situation with Sherry. And so I'm just saying, we don't know how long everyone's routine was, because it's not like they're all professional. It's not possible that they're all so professional to keep to the time, but Sherry's is the only one who's like goes so crazy over. Like, it's really easy to lose track of time. And she's probably not the only queen who lost track of time. You know what I mean?
I tend to doubt that anyone hit 17 minutes besides Sherry Pie.
I'm not saying they all went 17 minutes. I'm saying I think Sherry's not. It's possible that Sherry isn't the only person that lost track of time. Okay. And what the only thing worse than what Sherry did was if Sherry did a 17-minute piece that was boring. And I don't think she did a boring 17-minute piece.
I don't care, and I don't care if she went up there.
I know you're looking for a reason to
no, I am not. I am not looking for. As a matter of fact, I give her credit whenever credit is due. Like, no matter what she did off camera or whatever she did.
So if she were the winner, if she won that, would you still feel the same way? If she won it and you knew that it was the best one.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. Then you'd be like, I hate her. She should have gone home.
No, girl, we've talked. Come on now. If she won and she was only 4.5 minutes, I would have been like, well,
no, I'm saying if she won and was 17 minutes.
No. I think that hitting 17 minutes and going over 3 times more than what you allowed is enough of a disqualification to bring her in the bottom 2 for a lot of reasons. Because number one, it's fucking up all the other drag queens. And I do think it would have fucked me up a little bit too, especially if I'm anxious about something and I'm like waiting for this bitch to get the fuck off, and then you have to go after this, like, then it makes you seem like, it makes you feel like Sherry Pie, according to the edit, did not want to go last, but she was the one that should have gone last. She should have gone last, especially because it was longer. I agree. And I think she knew what the fuck she was doing. I think that she did. I mean, she planned it out. They had to write it down, and I don't know her, but I think she's so focused on her drag and on her routine and on her look and on her act. She's not messy. No, she's not a lot of things. She's not messy. She's not messy. She's she seems organized. She's the most organized queen that's there. She knew that she was showing it. She knew what she was doing. Yeah, she knew what she was doing. She just thought she would be allowed to keep going, and that's what she did. And she was allowed to keep going. She kept going, and nobody stopped her. So anyway, I would have put her ass on the motherfucking bottom. But then, yeah, I definitely would have put her on the bottom just for that. But Jada's was definitely. I mean, Jada knew. Like, okay, so Jada, if I'm gonna come back at you, if Jada's Jada's was not very exciting. Right. Her material she prepared was not very good. It was actually probably one of the worst. What was good was that, she knows when it's bad. And she said to the audience, y'all think this is bad. That's one thing about hers that's good. That's so true. Sherry's, what's horrible is that hers was the worst because it went over. But the one thing about Sherry's is that everyone was laughing and clapping. And so it kind of cancels itself out, I think. Well, I'll tell you this. If I owned the club and I had a performer, if they had one or two things, if they either came 3 times too late or went 3 times over the time that they were allotted and interfered with the other performers, I would not bring those hoes back. You would not have a club. Every single drag that you just literally described, every single drag performer that you will ever work with in your life. Let's move on to the next subject. Yeah, I think Sherry, I was thinking, did I say this last time we talked? I think Sherry Pie, I think we talked about this before, but I'm just going to say it. When we talk about how Sherry Pie is going to deal with the aftermath of what she's done with this, like how she is, I hope that she's okay. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I believe that. Okay. I believe Here that. Here comes the but. No. But no, this is not a but because, look, everyone's got secrets. And I mean, I'm not. Okay, I'm going to talk about this just a little bit. I think one of the most fucked up things about what she did was that she did it to a friend. Like, let's say she had just catfished some stranger, something like that. Like, yeah, that's fucked up too. But doing it to a friend is like crosses all boundaries with me as far as loyalty and friendship. So that's fucked up. And, convincing someone to take steroids and all of these things that she has admitted to, and just the manipulation of it all is next level. Now, because that has exposed every single person that watches Drag Race has been affected by it, that thinks about it at the beginning and the end of every show, it's going to be hard, if not impossible, for her to get a job as Sherry Pie, at least anytime in the foreseeable future. And I was thinking that how can she survive? Like, how can she go on and not be like recognized and sneered at every time she gets on a plane or goes to public? Not that people are going on planes and going in public very much right now, especially in New York City. Okay. What do you think about her getting a sex change? Look, move to another country, live your life as a woman. Well, I don't know if she's trans. Well, I think she's trans enough. I mean, I think that's funny, but I don't think that people getting a sex change. I personally don't think that people getting a sex change would be if you're not trans, would be the beginning of the worst part of your life. Okay, regardless of anything else you do, and it's not. It's getting a sex change and living a life as a woman is not something that's as easy as the surgery. Right, and so I'm not saying that it's should easy, she go in disguise and change her name. And I'm saying changing your name, and because everyone knows her out of drag from the show. Everyone knows her in drag too. In drag, that's what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, the only way, look, this is what I'm trying to come down to. Whether or not she actually gets a sex change or just lives her life as a woman, I don't see any way for her to live a normal life as Sherry Pie or as her, I forgot her male name, her boy name. But I'm trying to say that I don't see any way for her to live a normal life unless she was living life with a different name as
I
a
got
woman.
that.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, that's funny. Yeah,
And
that's
that
cute.
wouldn't, no, but no, I'm not even trying to be funny, and I really mean that, because it's not her living her life as a woman is not super far, like it's not something that she wouldn't know how to do necessarily. Do you know what I mean? And like, and I'm not trying to get
look. She's
I
not
know
trans.
there's a difference between
She's
being
not
a drag
trans.
queen.
She's not trans, and we're entering into a weird zone.
But no,
She's
but
not
didn't we
trans.
say before? Didn't we say before? And did I thought that we have said this before in a conversation? You even said this, that even like drag queens do identify as women to a certain extent. It's not that far fetched. It's a difference between.
No, I didn't say that. There's a difference between when dressing in the clothing that's perceived as woman and having an act. First of all, Sherry Pie. If you're talking about all the season 12 queens and which one of those queens would probably be the most comfortable, in my opinion,
Okay.
and has nothing to do, I don't know their identity. I don't know how they feel. I don't know how they identify. I just don't know. But just based on the type of drag, which communicates their thoughts about womanhood,
right,
slightly, the one who would have the easiest time, the best time, the smoothest time, and probably the most fun living as a woman would be Jada.
I was going to say that too.
The one who I think would be the least would probably be Sherry Pie, because her style of drag is it's camp. It's more campy.
Yeah.
And so it's, I know you're saying she should just get a sex change because then she won't look like that campy version of herself. I get what you're saying. I'm following your thing. And yeah, if we could just like put her down and be like, boom, do it. And then, but I think I think what would be, I would admire, it would be interesting to see how her life would play out as this surprise. I got a sex change and I escaped all the dumb. I think the best thing to do is for her to face her problems, face her issues, deal with what's going on, get therapy, and make amends. She can continue her life. Her life is not over. This is a very bad time, and she hurt some people, but people will heal, and she can mend the relationships, or at least communicate to the people that it matters to. To the fans, they might say, I never want to see her again. Who cares what they think? It's about the people, the relationships in her life. I think that she will grow. I mean, hopefully she will remain in a healthy state of mind and continue with life. And she won't feel the need. Like, if you're so close to moving out of the country, completely leaving everyone you know, so no one knows who you are and where you are, assuming a new identity and getting that is the worst part of what they used to force transgender women to do in the 60s. You had to choose between getting your surgery, and if you get your surgery, we have to tell your mother that you're dead. You can never see anyone you know again. You have to move to another country, change your name, tell people that you don't have a past, and then start fresh. These girls were committing suicide doing that because nobody likes to do that.
I just seem to think that the repercussions of what she did is a lot more inescapable than what you seem to think. I seem to think that she's maybe never going to be able to work in theater again.
Then she'll get another job.
I think that's even more impossible as far as like theater and acting and drag being part of her life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and being able to walk into any establishment where there's gay people. Like this is such a huge scandal. Not even in the gay world.
I think
like,
it's a bigger scandal than it is. I think it's a bigger scandal than it is an escapable, life-changing thing that she'll be shunned from all humans and she'll never be able to function in any part of society again. Like, you're making it so black or white. I just disagree. I think that
I guess we'll see.
In a couple of years, we'll have to see what's happening. If she decided that it was better for her to get a sex change, I'm in air quotes, I'm using sex change in air quotes, and then move to another country, then maybe that means you were right. But I don't think we have to worry about her. I'm not saying that I think she's going to be on the next Drag Race tour. I don't think I don't think she's going to be on those things. But I do think that it is possible for her to not have to move out of the country. You know what I mean? People commit crimes all the time, and people do some shady stuff. And there's lots of people that we don't know what the skeletons are in their closet, and we find out about them. And unfortunately, or unusually, since we live in this world where things just change so quickly, we're not going to even know who she is in a year or two.
Regardless, I do hope that she's doing well mentally. And I really
the best way for her to do that is to show that she is working on whatever is that there's work to be done.
Yeah,
and the work to be done isn't just removing yourself out of our sight so we don't have to think about you. The work to be done is her personal work that she has to do. And when she starts taking those steps, she'll probably have a better life and a more fulfilling life.
Yeah. We'll see. But there is something else that I was on my mind connected to that I wanted to bring up to you. I'm seriously thinking about moving out of this country. Like,
you're not the only one. You and millions, at least the 3 million folks that voted for Hillary.
Well,
that didn't get the vote counted.
Well, it goes beyond that, and it definitely. I mean, if Trump wins, and especially if they get the Senate and the House, then that will be a big sign saying time to move, Caswell.
Sorry,
what the hell is that?
It went off.
But I'm really afraid that. It's going to get turn into Handmaid's Tale here. But even just besides that,
everything that's happening, it's really difficult for me to not talk about those things, by the way, because there's just so much going on. But I did have a really interesting conversation with somebody that I wanted. That's what I wanted. One of the things I wanted to talk about. But go ahead. You think you might move?
Well, I'm just, you know what? I don't want to get into problems. Well, that's the talk. Let's just talk about that. Okay. If I was to move, I mean, Canada sounds like the natural, but the cold is a real deterrent for me. And one of the reasons I left New York and left the East Coast in general, and I feel highly offended by the cold. And I hate, like, I grew up in a real drafty house where they never wanted to turn on the heat, and I was sitting on the radiator. And then living in New York City,
did you actually sit on the radiator?
I would sit on the radiator, like I would sit on the radiator to get warm because it was so drafty in my house.
I've turned on the oven.
My family did not look in that direction, but when I lived on East 7th Street in a railroad studio apartment. Okay, so let me break this down for you. I know we probably talked about this years ago, but remember when I lived in Michael's apartment on 7th Street? No, 9th Street between A and 1st. It was in an old Ukrainian building, and I swear it was like built out of popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue. And it even shifted. Like the building was so old that there was a lean in the apartment that was like 7 inches. Like when you walked in, when I was so used to, I was so used to walking into the apartment and being used to it, but people would walk into like, whoa, the building literally shifted. Like it was, like you in the fun house, and then people would come over and like, oh yeah, leave your jackets on, don't get any warmer in here. And it was hella drafty. It was one of those places in New York that you move in, and then the bathtub is in the kitchen, so that he had to build like a wall that separated the bathtub from the kitchen. Like
that is so like old school New York. I wonder if that building's still there. Do you think it still is?
His building?
That building?
That building is still there. Place? Yeah, I talked to him the other day.
Same place.
He has like 2 roommates, and so
they rub-a-dub in that kitchen.
Yeah, so I'm just so that was not like
so the
landlord only turned on the heat when it snowed. So that was that. Then I felt really rich when I moved up to.
Can we come back to can we go back to where you want to move?
Well, I'm just trying to explain to you that I really got to stay away from the cold. That I don't know.
Okay, I get it.
I'm on my Duolingo, and I'm at 4%.
So where else would you move?
With learning my Spanish. People are talking about Lisbon,
Portugal, but that's not Spanish.
I know.
Obviously,
I know.
What do you mean people are talking about Lisbon?
Well, just like I hear some.
What are you talking about?
Well, Lisbon is just like a lot of artists are moving there. It's not really expensive. There are job opportunities there. People do speak English there. You know, they have 4 seasons there. So, I mean, it's not too hot. It's not too cold. And it's just you know, the boys are cute, and there might be some opportunities like whatever. So I wonder
how easy that would be, especially with the United States probably not having the best relationship with other places. Yeah. I wonder if it's like you moving to Lisbon, is that like you getting a Portuguese passport?
I don't know.
Or is that you hiding out under the thing every time the cops come?
I don't know. How long do you think I could stay there without citizenship?
Probably a few months.
Yeah, so I don't really know.
I mean, last time I traveled in and out of Europe, they were starting to crunch down. Even like, because as United States passport holders, we still, I'm sure we have it pretty good in the United States, but our passport alone serves as a visa that allows us to enter in and out of a lot of places on a regular visitor's visa. But I remember going to some places where they're like, where's your ticket out of here? And that started to get even more intense. since Trump, because Trump started offending everybody. And then they're like, oh, you're going to turn it up on us? We're going to turn it up on y'all.
That's right.
And Trump even, this is the weirdest thing about this. Trump, right before, I don't know, Trump got rid of, there's a program called Global Entry that allows you to come back into the United States ports without having to go through like immigration. You go through it, but just stop at a machine and get a stamp on your thing. And it's like 3 minutes. And it used to be, that immigration line used to be an hour and a half, 2 hours coming into JFK. And so Trump canceled Global Entry for New Yorkers because New York is a sanctuary. New York City is a sanctuary city. And so he canceled Global Entry for New Yorkers, which means if we have it, it's it's still active now, but it will expire and nobody can renew it, which means we're going to just have to wait in that line. And I was like, you're punished. He's so retaliatory. So yeah, I'm considering moving to Canada. Is a good thought because it's close to home. If I didn't live in Canada, then I probably would move to London, which definitely isn't any warmer, but it is less expensive. Probably the most like New York, and it's pretty expensive. But I mean,
you speak Spanish enough though, right? Like I hear you talking to cab drivers. Like,
I speak Spanish, but there's not a lot of Spanish cities that I would want to move to that the culture is I mean, I honestly haven't been to a lot of places in Spain. I'm not sure that I would move. I might.
Have you been to Barcelona?
Living in Mexico. I've been to Barcelona.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it's gorgeous. I love the architecture.
I think that's Sherry Vine's favorite city. I think she told me that before.
Yeah.
She loves Barcelona.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking about options. Which is so sad because I'm in such a healthy, happy place as far as where I live and starting the production company with Adrian, who's my very good friend and roommate. We have a very roomy apartment. You know, there's a pool. We have front patio. I just bought front patio furniture on sale so we can like sit out and write.
What color?
Well, I would have chosen yellow if it came in it, but it's like a chocolate color, but a glass table and just like 4 chairs. We can, play cards, whatever, smoke a joint, write songs out there, like whatever we want to do. So I mean, but that's the sad part is my life is like, so like I have a really good quality of life right now. And I have a great apartment. I'm really happy. I started business, so obviously money's not coming in like it was before this pandemic, but we are still getting work and I'm still doing okay and I'm comfortable and I'm really happy. So it's in that aspect, it would be very hard for me to move.
Well, maybe that'll continue while you're still in, maybe, if Trump becomes president again or stays president, maybe that continue. It is possible for you to have a happy sort of life where you're just like in your own little force field and making the money you want to make. And obviously there's a lot of things that are up in the air because of Corona. But I mean, maybe it is possible I think about that all the time. Like, is it possible for me to have a good time with my friends, like my living situation, like my job and my work, and not like the president? And that's kind of already what's happening now. So I don't know. I mean, I think about that protest move,
I'm just afraid of once they slide that thing in there, like it's illegal to be gay or it's illegal to be trans, or they start
pretty much almost is.
I'm saying like once they start closing up like gay clubs, like these little things will happen incrementally incrementally if Trump and especially Pence gets his way. So I'm really scared about that. And also I'm just like really fed up with, man, I'm not trying to be like a downer, but I just made a video on my Instagram, urging people to make calls on behalf of Ahmaud Arbery because I just,
can I talk about anything up?
Well, what the fuck? I didn't steal your voice. You can butt in anytime you want.
No, you didn't. Okay. Well, let me bring up one of my. Okay, well, let's go ahead.
No. It's fine. Go.
I wanted to bring. Yeah. This is something that it's not the most jolly of situations, but I had a couple of really deep conversations about race and how things are just kind of playing out right now in our country, probably in the world, but definitely in our country. And there have been 3 or 4 shootings of unarmed Black men in this country this week. Ahmaud Arbery was one of them. And it's devastating to me because it feels like we're moving sort of backwards in a way, like back in time or back to a time when, things were worse. I'm baffled by it. There was a guy named Sean Reed who was live streaming on Facebook, a high-speed chase that he was in. And he live streamed the entire incident.
He was being chased?
He was being chased. He was in his own car. And so his phone was on and he was talking and streaming at the same time, talking to the viewers and telling them where he is, saying, somebody come and get me. He was being chased by the cops. I don't know why. The cops were saying it's because they saw him driving erratically. And then he eventually it's like a 20 or 30 minute video. The chase ended. The cops called off the chase. He pulled in somewhere else, got out of his car, and was confronted by a different police officer. And then I guess an argument sort of ensued. Then the foot chase began. And so he was running on foot from the officer, away from the officer, still on his live.
Work it out.
And the officer shot him in the back and killed him. I don't know what crimes he committed, if he committed any crimes at all, or what he
shot him in the back.
There's another guy. Yeah, there's another guy named Douglas Lewis, who was in a car accident with a civilian. Two folks got into a car accident, one white, one black. Douglas Lewis was one of the passengers, or was one of the drivers. And I guess they might have gotten into a confrontation, which happens when you get into a car accident. And the other driver shot him dead. He was not armed as well. And the driver said, "Oh, I thought he was going to kill me." And it is so off balance where we are right now, seeing Black men losing their jobs for protesting, Black men getting killed and shot and killed. White folks protesting, white folks protesting because they're losing their jobs and they think they're going to die because of that. And I get that. But like, why? I don't understand. Like, why is your job more valuable than a Black life? Like, than any human life? Your job, your actual job. Like, we can get more jobs. There's a lot of people who don't have jobs. There's a lot of people who aren't hired. The two things are apples and oranges, but the protesting, how it's like un-American for Colin Kaepernick to protest, and that Black lives, like all lives matter. We don't want to hear about how Black lives matter. Stop complaining. Meanwhile, these people are out in the street with guns in front of the police officers, up in their faces, spitting on them about their jobs, or the fact that they're in their house and they want to get out and get their nails done. Why is that so worthy of protest? And if you shoot my family members, me protesting is not worthy.
Exactly. And put a bunch of Black men with AR-15s there in the exact same situation.
Would never exist.
Exactly.
There's never exist.
Exactly. And see how it changes.
The closest that Black men have ever had to being armed in public during a protest has been like the Black militia, the Black Panthers. Right. And they were murdered and extinguished. And so it really is frustrating to me. I had a big old conversation because there's this guy who is a stripper or a sex worker, a former sex worker, has an OnlyFans page, but he only puts up old videos. Can't remember his name, and I don't care to. But Trinity tweeted about him this weekend. Trinity tweeted about him. No, he's not even all that. But Trinity, he's definitely like one of those guys who's like, "Oh, Trinity, these are my videos from the 90s." Trinity the Tuck. Trinity the Tuck tweeted about him because he was basically like his Instagram or his social media feed is all about, "I love being white and gay, and you Black people need to stop complaining. And if you want a job, get up off your butt and get a job. And there's no such thing as racism anymore. And Ahmaud Arbery, well, he shouldn't have been running, and he should have complied. And how did he get into a gated community anyway? They were having a bunch of break-ins. Gated community? So it was hidden. It's not even gated. It's not. Gated. Yeah. It's not even gated. I don't get it. Honey, that thing ain't gated. Gated communities do not have people with pickup trucks running around with
What's this stripper from 1987's name? I want to know.
I don't remember his name.
We'll find out.
David somebody or other.
We'll find out who David somebody or other is.
Honestly, I don't want to advertise him because
I just want to read him.
I know you're curious, but I'll text it to you later because I don't want anybody to listen to this and find him because he is deplorable, and what he wants is more followers.
Yeah, Miss Thing just wants the views.
He wants the views. So it's crazy. Yeah, that's another reason why I'm thinking of I might move with you. You know,
okay.
That and You and I did something together. We worked on the We Are Here campaign, and I want to talk about that for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not sure when people are going to hear this, but Amy Stevens is one of the plaintiffs in the 3 cases that were taken to the Supreme Court to debate the right to, or argue the right to, or not to fire LGBTQ people for being queer from their jobs. And so she is a queer woman, a trans woman who was fired from her job. And so you were on the planning committee of the We Are Here campaign, which was really good. We got a lot of views and a lot of people were involved. And so now the decision, they have until, I think, July, the beginning of July. Their session ends at the end of June. They have until like Supreme Court to hand out their decision. And so we're preparing people for what will need to happen, because what needs to happen is we need to pass the Equality Act. But I'll get into that another day. But Amy Stevens is in hospice right now. It doesn't look like she's going to make it very long or much longer. I don't know. I hope that she does. She's been in deteriorating health for a while. I don't know exactly why or how long. She was at the court case in a wheelchair. And so her health was probably not very good then. That was only a few months ago. But she is in hospice. And so we want to carry on the fight in her name. But if you're listening to this, please look her up. Her story is very worthy of you at least knowing. This is someone who lost her livelihood, and it made it difficult for her to pay the bills. She obviously, she lost her job. We're talking about people losing their jobs and protesting. This is someone who exercised her U.S. right, her American right, her right as an American citizen to take this case all the way to the Supreme Court. And she may not be around to see the result when they do hand out their judgment. And so I just wanted to inform you of that, Caswell.
All right. I'm informed. And I will inform. And if somebody could inform me of a way to lay off the potato chips, the cookies, the Pop-Tarts, and not ordering Uber Eats so much, but man, I really need to snap into shape super quick, because I am shooting a video for the 10-year. I know we're going for a change of subject really quick, but I'm shooting a video for the 10-year anniversary of Ice Cream Truck. So it's particularly important for me to not look like I'm gay morbidly obese, which translation means 15 pounds overweight. Elvis, go to your bed. Wow. Oh shit, I haven't fed him yet. Just go to your bed, chill. It's just like, did you see that last
abuse on tape?
That last story I said when I made a meme and I was like, oh, when you tell your dog you'll take him out after you eat dinner, and then you see the chihuahua come out of like the sauce you're making with a gun. That's him right now. He literally just walked right in front of me and sat there just so I would see him. He's like, it is time to eat, and it is time to go out. Elvis, come here. Come here. Good boy. Yeah, we're staying right here, but you can come here. Can you hear him? Say something. I don't know. Maybe you can hear his little heart.
Did he lick the mic?
No. Look at him. He looks so scared.
Elvis.
You're such a good boy. I'm so happy.
Oh, I got tested for coronavirus antibodies.
Does that cost money? I heard to get tested for the antibodies cost money.
Technically, it does cost money, but if you have insurance, then it doesn't.
Okay.
So coronavirus-related treatments are supposed to be covered by insurance in this country. Okay. That's, I guess, as close to free as they can get right now.
Or so you have insurance? Like, you mean like if
I do have insurance?
Okay, but if you don't
honey, I had insurance. I applied for insurance the day we went on lockdown.
Is it like Obamacare insurance, or is it like okay? Yeah, I'm on Medi-Cal.
And so my insurance covers it. Your insurance, Medi-Cal will cover it. And right now, do you have City MD in LA?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It's urgent care. It's like, it's like the bodega, but it's a medical, like doctor's office bodegas, where you go and get you a damn,
and a panini,
not a panini. That's bougie, honey. You go get a chopped cheese, and
you get an egg and cheese and a flu shot.
Yeah, egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese on a on a croissant, honey, and a flu shot. No, it's basically like that, but no food. And so you can go in the corner. They're all on corners and like little, it's called City MD, and you just walk in. It's urgent care, and you just walk in, and they have doctors, and they pretty much, it's like a regular clinic or doctor's office, but you don't need an appointment. And they take insurance. I actually I'm going to start going there because it's like right up the street from my house. My doctor's office is not right up the street from my house. Anyway, so they have, if you go to any urgent care, then they'll do your corona testing.
Okay. Well, I don't know what much of a difference it would make for me right now until I decide to until I'm able to go to work, because.
Well, yeah, it would help you once you go to work. Some places, I'm imagining that when everything goes back, that some places might require people to get tested or show their results. And I guess right now it's for people who are planning on seeing other people,
mm-hmm.
or if they had symptoms and they just want to know,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I guess because there are some people who are making a move and going back home to see their parents or stay with their parents during the quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those people, the testing is important, I guess. But
what?
I just got internet. Okay. So I, years ago, upgraded my internet to the high-speed internet. It was called high-speed internet. And I left it the same. No, I didn't have. Because they don't have. You can't get FiOS in New York City buildings, in most New York City apartments, except for way downtown.
I had it in Hell's Kitchen. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in the white neighborhoods.
Okay.
Certainly not in Harlem.
Harlem, no, you still dial up.
We don't even have City Bike. They don't even have City Bike. They just said that they were going to start bringing City Bike to the black neighborhoods. We do not have it. Anyway, the point is that I had the high-speed internet, which was just called cable. It's cable internet high speed. And I've been using it. And lately I've been I've noticed some problems, and I was like, oh, that's probably because a lot of people are using the internet at the same time. But then I realized I'm sitting here, I've upgraded my phone 10 times since I've gotten high-speed internet. And now the videos that my phone sends are all 4K. And I'm trying to send out these videos and upload these videos and doing movie studios from our apartment.
Right.
And my internet is I went to the thing and I checked my speed, and it was 60 megabits, whatever, a second, or whatever it's called. 60 megabits a second, which is not a lot. That's the package that I had. It was 60 megabits. I asked my friend, they have 800 megabits. Now that's FiOS. What do you have?
I don't know. Should I just do a test on my phone right now?
Yeah, go to speedtest.com.
Let me try to find this.
Although the phone is a little bit different than the computer, I found out, because the phone still uses part of its 4G signal.
Well, my speed test is...
It takes 15 seconds.
156.
Oh, wow. Phone. Yeah, that's really good. Mine was 60. So do you have FiOS now?
No.
Cable?
I'm on Starry.
Spectrum?
No, I'm on
what
Starry.
Company?
Starry. Stary. Let me look at my phone.
I just got mine up to 400 or whatever. I don't even know what it's... You know what? Actually, I don't even know what it's up to.
Let me run a speed test on my laptop right now.
Test it on your laptop.
Download, okay.
Testes, 1, 2, 3. Testes, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, upload. What? Okay. What? No. Hold up. Check your run speed test. Oh, on my laptop.
What's wrong?
On my laptop, it's at 38, 39, 40. Come on, sweetie pie. That's
that might
up.
Be because we are
doing a video.
Hold up. It might be. I don't know if I think it's because of that we're recording. Which, by the way, we're almost at an hour, so we're gonna have to stop pretty soon. But who knows? Well, obviously let's look. You never know what your internet signal is until you actually test it out and look it out. But it's worth looking into. I went and they have a new package that's 400 or whatever. That's the same price. All I had to do was switch it, and I gagged. So I switched it, and so it's much faster now than it was before.
You just got hella pixelated as I was trying that, so I'll see what it's like when I'm done with you. But we will see. There's a question that we got in, but it was unless you have something else you want to talk about before we bounce, but I thought that I could talk about this. It was all mumbled and jumbled, and it was I didn't have enough time to edit it, but I thought that I would just bring the gist of it because I thought it was an interesting question. So do you want to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this lady. Well, she's 29 years old, and she lives in California, I think in the San Diego area, and she's been seeing this guy that's a doctor. She's a nurse at one hospital, he's a doctor in one hospital. I don't know how they met. They were dating for like 8 months. She was in love. She wanted to have kids with this guy. She was totally in love with this guy. And then she started to feel they was fading out, and he was getting more distant the last 3 months. So then they broke up.
Been there.
And he could tell. I don't know if she had proof of it, but he was like, he's seen another guy. I mean, he's seeing somebody else. He's seen somebody else. He's seen somebody else. Now she's been in quarantine for 7 weeks, and she's living with her best friend. I don't know. They've been friends since college or whatever like that. She mentions in the letter that she's also noticed that she's been distant with her for the past few months, and she thought that they would be closer since they're on quarantine. Well, she went to visit her best friend / roommate. They both live together, like Laverne and Shirley. Okay, if you were born,
so they live together,
so they
and
live
she's
together.
and she's
you were born
the two people that are in her life. Her boyfriend and her roommate are distant from her.
Okay, so
then she goes where?
She's giving me these details. She goes to borrow her roommate's iPad, and she finds messages from...
You're lying.
No, I'm not even lying. From Chick-fil-A. And just like, it says her and Chick-fil-A. She's like, what? And she remembers that one time she got a call from Chick-fil-A. She goes, oh yeah, I place lunch with them every day. Maybe they're calling me. So Chick-fil-A is actually her ex-boyfriend, and they've been talking to each other, and her quote unquote best friend gave her the name Chick-fil-A on the iPad. So that, when some player is like cheating on his girlfriend, they'll give a name like, oh, my job, or John Boss is calling me, when it's really fucking Diamond the stripper.
The person.
Right. So she goes through, and they find out that they've been seeing each other, and that they've been fucking, and they've been keeping
since before she was seeing him.
No. In the middle, like, I guess she led me. I forgot what she said, but details like so. For instance, if he's been distant for if they both been distant from her for 3 months, it started around that time, because I'm sure her best friend had a hard time looking her in the eye when she's sucking her boyfriend's dick. So anyway, she's like, I found this out. She goes, lucky for me, I'm a good actress. I've been holding it together. I haven't been confrontational because I'm stuck in an apartment on quarantine, and neither with her. And she says that. She was actually coming off from being sick, and then her best friend works in the food industry, and she's been staying home because the restaurant isn't open anymore. But they've both been stuck in the apartment, and she's like, "Let me just tell you something right now. I can't hold this on for much longer. Once I let her know that I know her tea, something's gonna happen." So I'm like, But she's like, but guess what? My name's on the motherfucking lease. Her name ain't on the lease because her credit is shit. And should I just take her shit and throw it out the window? Like, should I just like change the luck? Should I not have her come back? And I was like, the first thing I thought of, remember that song Biggie Smalls, Me and My Bitch? He's like, she threw my clothes out the window, so when the wind blows, I see my polos and Timbos. I was like, yes, bitch. She would have been seeing Fashion Nova on those tree branches. But she was like, she doesn't have any family there, or her family are like 300 miles away. She could go to her, like, she's gonna end up like putting her in even a worse spot. But I'm saying,
she's gonna go live with the boyfriend.
I should have taken the time to edit this, but we originally weren't gonna do any questions, just chit chat today. So like, I was just like, well, no, she can't go live with her boyfriend for whatever reason. I don't know, or I don't know if she would, if she could have, something like that. But I don't know. Maybe the doctor has. I don't fucking know. I know those details weren't given.
She can't.
But the question is, would you kick your quote unquote used to be not anymore best friend out of the apartment during quarantine if you find out that they have been talking / sleeping with your ex who just broke your heart? So you're too nice. You had to think too long. You are too nice. You are too nice. And you said no?
Well, I'm saying, look, I don't have enough information. That's the first.
Well, based on that information.
But based on that information, look, someone can move during the quarantine. It's not like leaving during the quarantine means that she's going to get coronavirus. It is possible to safely move during the quarantine. So I would not. I don't think. I like to see I like to see it go down, but I like to see a conversation, and I like to see them figure it out. I'm not just like, oh, your stuff's gone. I don't know how. I would need a real conversation. Do you know what I mean? And so depending on that conversation, that went.
What is there to talk about? The person you think that was your friend has been sleeping with your boyfriend, and then that like devastated you. You know, that person was probably pretending to be a shoulder to cry on. I'm sure if that was your best friend you were calling her.
Look, I think that's real. I think it's really short-sighted. If he's going to fuck my best friend, it's multi-layered. If he's going to be messing with my best friend, he's not a good man to be with. I don't want to fight for him.
True. She ain't a good friend either.
And he's not worth it. Because if he would do that with her, he would do that with anyone. B, she's obviously not a good friend, but it is possible to get through it. I've been in a situation where we were both cheated on by the same guy. We were both seeing the same guy. Now, neither one of us knew, but that's different, but today we're extremely close. But I first was like, damn, that girl. Like, at first I was like angry at her because I was like, why, can't you just leave my man alone?
Yeah, but she didn't know.
She didn't know. But the bottom line is, for me, me stewing and brewing about what somebody did and being like, I kicked her stuff out. The next day, I'm still thinking about her and him. And then the next day, I'm still having visions of him and her. And then 6 months later, I'm still thinking about the two of them together. That tortures me more than just, like, girl, we got tall. And even if he broke up with me and I'm no longer with him because now they're together, I still deserve the right to have a conversation with her about it because we're supposed to still be friends. If it's going to be a fight and go down, at the end of that fight, then we'd be like, okay, you have to leave.
Let me tell you something. Not that I'm not an advocate for violence. I'm not telling you I'm not trying to tell you to do something. I'm not telling this person that knows that I'm referring to her question that she should put hands on her. As a matter of fact, you do not put hands on her because what's going to happen is her bitch ass is going to call the cops, say that you assaulted her, get you arrested, thrown in jail, where you get the coronavirus, where she's sitting up on your couch, all comfy and cozy, watching Netflix, eating Hot Pockets. So what you want to do?
You're gonna be in jail.
No, you have to make it. There is no coming back from this. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna be like, baby, like, Miss Thing, Janet, Karen, whatever your name is. I want you to. Could you, since you have the keys to the car, like I'm not feeling good right now. Can you please run down to the store and pick some stuff up? Or I pour all the milk out, or all the water out, or all the whatever out. I'll be like, you got to go get some. Take her fucking shit. Make sure she's gone 45 minutes an hour. Take her shit. Put it in a couple boxes. Put it at the front. Put the lock on. Make sure before she goes, you take the key for that top lock that you don't usually use, and now you're using it, and you just leave it there and put a little mask on top of that box and be like, hey, I'm letting you know I know the truth. Here's your shit. Here's the mask. Good luck to you. Bye. And then that's what I have to do, because personally for me is like when somebody fucks me over, the door's closed and that's it. Like I'm a Cancer, so like I just go into that shell, I close it, that's it. And I will think about it a lot less
with no communication.
Yeah, if that hoe isn't in my if she was in my face all day and I had to look and be like, oh, so Tony was fucking that pussy, so he was fucking her. So when
I'm not saying that I wanted to continue to live with her. I'm saying okay. I can't do anything until we have a face to face. That's what I'm trying to say. If I think you did me wrong, or you did me wrong, or you screwed me over, whether I have proof or not, not only do I want you to know that I know, I want to see it in your eyes when I say everything that I got to say to you. And I want to see you scramble and try to figure out what you're going to say back to me to try to make me feel better. And I want an apology. I might not accept it, but I want to see you try to come up with an apology. And I want to get more information and talk about it and express what I need to express. Me just throwing your stuff out is that's just revenge. No. And so I'm not. Revenge it works for some people. Revenge just never worked for me.
In one sense, it's revenge, and it's one sense let's say if I was in her situation, it's one sense of me just taking care of what I have to do for me to move on. And if I take the time to sit down and have a conversation with her, there might not be enough time for me to pack up her shit and get her the fuck out of there, because I will not. There's nothing to say. What is there to say? You know what I mean? She already did it. I mean, she's not sorry if she's still been texting.
In that regard, then there's nothing to say about anything. Nobody has anything to say when they do somebody wrong. But I do think that, like, I get it. You did me wrong. That's it. I don't have to hear what you say. You're out. I understand that.
But you could be calm about it, though. I would be calm. I'd be cool. I'd be collected, and I would get her things out of there. So,
but for me, I'm just saying I can't physically cancel relationships. I have to do it with words. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you.
The way that I close relationships is with words.
I agree with you.
And communication.
But I think those words can happen after she moves out.
Well, not in this thing because I don't have a job. And bitch, I'm going to put up with him fucking you. Bitch, get him over here, move him in and let me not pay the rent because I don't have a job.
Well, now we can take a break on paying rent, can't we?
What'd you say?
I don't have to pay rent for a year or every year until after this coronavirus is done. I didn't pay rent last month. I didn't pay rent for May.
Me neither. I don't know what's going to happen. We haven't gotten rent forgiveness. We just don't get kicked out.
Right.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Thank you all for listening. I love talking to you, my best friend. And we'll talk again. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Don't forget.
I'm not forgetting.